First, God does not exist. But don't worry, what does exist is good, as opposed to evil. So if you believe in God, you believe in good, and that's as it should be. You are just fine. If you believe in evil, then you probably need a whack on the back of the neck with a big fucking stick.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here, watch this. Shut up. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
To the President of the United States of America, we are anonymous. We would like to ask you, are you happy with what you have allowed the United States to become? The entire country a war zone. People standing up for their rights and the city governments allowing the brutal beating and arresting the citizens across America. By allowing this to happen, you are a disgrace to the presidency.
Please stand by for a public service announcement. Please be advised that you have been advised. Tomorrow has been cancelled due to the lack of interest. Thank you for your participation and humanity. The revolution will not be televised. This has been a recording.
Connection established. Begin protocol.
We so declare.
We are not afraid. We are not alone. We are everywhere. We are the future. We are the 99%.
We so declare.
We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Congress shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, I'm sorry, this section is classified, dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified. Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified. This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified, or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified, and or all of the above in such event as classified spewing, classified escape, are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Should event occur in urban areas, Jesus, that's classified, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should casualties exceed classified body disposal actions, shall be halted and associated resources shall be reallocated to classified underground, classified protected birthing centers. A new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. Having now reviewed the bill, I ask you to please cast your vote.
Becoming a success between both nations, and as you were saying, certainly there are some regional implications there. But as we were talking about a few moments ago about Wednesday's meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in Kazakhstan, we did see a closer collaboration and big proposals put on the table between group members. Do you think it's possible that the SCO could become the economic mover and shaker of the world?
I hope so, and I believe so. Now, I believe the world is at the crossroad, historic crossroad, or some may say the world is at the brink of either being subdued or overcoming the U.S. NATO military intervention in Libya, now moving into possibly Syria, or even to Iran. If Russia, China, or these SCO, the alliance, are weak so that not enough to stop the U.S.-led NATO military aggression in North African region. So I hope so. The SCO, Russia, Russia leading this new global movement to balance the power in the world so that they can build a new world order where no more unilateral, aggressive, or even colonial methodology being put into a sovereign nation such as Libya.
Political scientist Dr. Kiyul Chung, live from Beijing. Thanks very much.
This is a message that will not be unheard. Mr. President, if you pass the indefinite detention bill, you will be throwing the United States Constitution out the window, and by doing so will only result in the failure of the United States. There are not enough people in the U.S. Armed Forces to stop every American citizen that will be closing in on the government buildings if you do not put the U.S. Constitution first. By allowing this bill to pass, you will make every American citizen anonymous. And for that injustice, the people will rise against you and scream, "Give me freedom," or "Give me death."
Again, where will the money come from? This is our problem in this country. We're bankrupt too. And also along this line, you feel like, you go along with this commitment, what are we going to do when a state gets under the gun, like California and others? I mean, they're approaching the state that Greece is in. I mean, we can't turn down California. I mean, if we can be on all these banks and they get off the hook, and now they're making billions, and their executive officers are cleaning up, do you think we would ever turn down California or any other state that gets in the same situation?
Well, that's Congress's decision. If you
well, you bailed out a lot of people from the IMF. You have the capability of buying up some debt and doing all this kind of thing. We can't even audit you to find out what you do. So you can do anything you want, and you can create as much money as you want. Where would the money come from?
It would come. It's a loan, but it would come from the U.S.
Eventually,
government.
we would create out of thin air.
Well, it's a loan.
Because we don't have
if
any.
If it's not paid back, then we would take our share of the loss.
Yield back.
Thank you, Congressman Snyder.
We have spent a lot of time in Congress talking about the $700 billion TARP bailout, which I voted against as it happens. Not a whole lot has been talked about with regard to the $2.2 trillion that the Fed has lent out. Now, I find it absolutely extraordinary that I wrote you a letter and I said, hey, who'd you lend the money to? What were the terms of those loans? How can my constituents in Vermont get some of that money? Who makes the decisions? Do you guys sit around in a room? Do you make it? Are there conflicts of interest? So my question to you is, will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars, will you tell us who got that money and what the terms are of those agreements?
We explain each of our programs. In terms of the terms, we explain the terms exactly. We explain what the collateral requirements are. We explain what
to whom did you explain that?
It's on our website.
Yeah, okay.
So all that information is available in our commercial paper program.
And who got the money?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks. Any bank that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
You tell us who they are.
No, because the reason that it's counterproductive and will destroy the value of the program is that banks will not come to the discount.
Isn't that too bad?
Sorry?
In other words, isn't that too bad? They took the money, but they don't want to be public about the fact that they received it. We heard a whole lot about AIG. They're in the front pages.
These are very
now, I got banks and I have businesses in the state of Vermont who are in a lot of trouble. Not banks. Our banks, by the way, are doing pretty well. Now, how do these guys who are honest business people get it? Do you have to be a large, greedy, reckless financial institution to apply for these monies?
There is no subsidy. There is no capital involved. There is no gift involved. It is a collateralized, short-term liquid loan that is both over-collateralized and is recourse to the company itself. We have never lost a penny doing it.
And how can other institutions get those loans as well?
According to the law, we are supposed to be lending to depository institutions.
Let me just say this, Mr. Chairman. I have a hard time understanding how you have put $2.2 trillion at risk without making those names available, those institutions public. And we're going to introduce legislation today, by the way, to demand that you do that. It is unacceptable to me that that goes on.
If the crimes of this government remain unclear to you, then we would suggest you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But, if you see what we see, if you feel as we feel, and if you would seek as we seek, then we ask you to stand beside us 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of government, and together we shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be forgot. To this end, we offer this pledge.
I pledge allegiance to dismantle the United States of the corporations, and to the profits for which they stand, one nation, in dispute, and tyranny and torture, on all.
Of this, we so declare,